I am Jennifer McNamara. My husband, John McNamara, FDNY, was 43 years old when he died of 9/11 related cancer.
Oh, I was coughing the next day. I had, all of us had gotten we were all getting this really itchy throats and coughing and just they call it the World Trade Center cough, but we breathed in a lot of ashes and dust, and and the first day they handed out these paper masks that you'd use to paint your house with, and that was supposed to be protection, from 256 different known cancer-causing carcinogens that were floating in the air that was supposed to protect us. And obviously it didn't, because here I am today, and I'm going into my third year now of cancer treatment myself. 4 surgeries, 3 weeks in the hospital, numerous rounds of chemotherapy, radiation. I used to weigh 200 pounds. I'm down to 130 pounds lighter than I was. I have to wear pain patches every day, just take pain pills. Each day is a new it's a new test every day to find out what's going to be hurting this day. So this day my liver might hurt. Now they found a new tumor down by my lower rectal area, so we're working on getting that. That's going to be my next surgery. That'll be surgery number 5, and to get myself, cancer free again. It's been, like I said, going on our 3rd year. We've had a couple of guys who haven't made it. We lost Lieutenant John Murray. We lost firefighter Sean McCarthy. All cancer-related deaths, and there's probably about another 10 guys that we know of in the fire department, plus the police departments and EMS who have lost numerous members as well. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of the other people that were there. There were 50 to 60,000 people down there, they said, during the course of the 9 months. And we don't know how many people are sick from the carpenters unions, the ironworkers, the Red Cross, all these volunteers that were down there. And who knows if they're sick? And half of them don't know if they're sick because nobody's telling them to get tested. We have a lot of people that are sick. And there's a lot of cancers. I know some firehouses have 3 guys that have cancer from the Trade Center. It's one single firehouse of 50 guys. It's 3 guys in each. I know at least 3 firehouses that have 3 guys with cancers. And my firehouse is myself, and then my battalion, we had Sean McCarthy, and we had another guy from 113. He's got some throat cancer issues right now, and a guy from another house has had another. He had some kind of leukemia, and he just took care of that. It seems like the leukemias, the cancers are showing up now, though. Right away it was the lung issues. Now it seems to be the cancers are showing up, and they're coming, and nobody's telling them, these guys, to get tested for them. And now all these, the compensation fund is closed. We need to get the guys that don't have the benefits, some benefits. So this James Zadroga bill would be very important if we were to reopen the fund. There's guys that are losing their homes, guys that can't afford this medical costs and the co-pays, and my insurance is taking care of me, thank God, but I have co-pays. I'm not, our dignity has been, slapped in the face. We did what we had to do on 9/11 and afterwards, and now people are forgetting about the people that are sick from 9/11. And there's people that are suffering and dying, and we need to get the message across. We need help. Yay! Choo-choo! Good. Yay! They smile.
Hi, I'm Teresa Koval. My fiance, Greg Quibell, died at the age of 53 years old from 9/11 related leukemia and pulmonary fibrosis.
This time is scary because I know what he's going to go through, what he's been through. I have a lot of guilt. I really do. I'm just so sorry.
Sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
It's far from home.
It's hard. I told you that a million
And
times.
I just want to be with him all the time, but I also have to take care of these people.
You got to maintain the stability that these kids finally have.
And
That's not going to happen. If you
I was
up
on the
every
phone with Anne-Marie today, and I finally had my breakdown. I came to my break point.
Who's Anne-Marie?
Anne-Marie Bauman, Vice President of the Feel Good Foundation, and the support she gives me, and also John Feel, the support that I get from the whole board is just amazing. And they were waiting for me. She told me actually today she was waiting for this, and she was happy it happened. And I was holding too much in, and I was ready to burst. I'm sorry.
We don't use that word. Do the same thing we're doing here. Write letters, make phone calls, get on people to pass this. It's going to benefit every single one of you. And the time is done. You can't ignore these people anymore. We need money. We need medical care and better research. There's medicines. It's absurd the amount of money that people are dying because they can't afford to go to a doctor. People are dying because they can't afford the medication. Where's the money from the government to pay for people's medication? You get, with leukemia, there's a Neupogen shot. It's like $1,000 a shot. You need 2 a day.
Yeah.
I can't pay that.
$28,000 for one prescription.
Some people, I gotta say myself real lucky. My medical coverage is still in place, and I'm still actually on the books with my job. But the people that are off the books with the job have no medical coverage. What do? People are not giving them $5,000 a day for medical supplies and doctor's bills. But the money is there. Spend how many billions of dollars overseas, which is none of our freaking business.
To fight this. What about the money they pay?
I feel pretty optimistic. It's no shit. 3 years. They would be way worse, if it were not you guys looking them in the eyes.
I bought bail money today, man.
Please, do me a favor. Don't chain yourself to any tables or desks or nothing like that.
No.
We got enough problems. You got it, guys. Thanks for being here. We'll be back in a couple hours, and anything you want while you're in town, put it on John's tab.
There he did.
And I want to make one announcement here. In the next press conference, NYPD ESU Captain Barry Galfano. Barry, step forward, please. This man looks like the picture of health, right? I guarantee, standing here next year, and I hope I'm wrong, but this man who's stage 4 terminal cancer will not be here with us. Over the last 4 years, I've been to 41 funerals. That's unacceptable. So you tell me, or somebody articulate to me, why this bill has not been passed yet. Thank you.
This man is my hero. He's my inspiration.
and he should be an inspiration to all of you guys out there that are sick. He has stage 4 terminal cancer, and he's on his own basically, and he's a true hero. And Captain Barry Galfano, would you please come up here?
If you could read that out to the microphone. You want me to lower that, or do you want to step still?
The hat makes him an inch tall.
Exactly.
I don't know what to say, except getting this award in Brian's name is like a tremendous honor. Never expected something like this. I came tonight just to make my donation and my support for a great organization that's helping a lot of people. And this is unbelievable. This is unnecessary. But to have this in Brian's name is a tremendous honor. And I hope I can live out my life in his name and in his honor, because I know what kind of fight he went through, and that's the fight I'm trying to fight right now. And the only thing I can say is you have to stay positive in life, and you have to enjoy life, and you have to have great family and great friends to support you, and I do. And believe in God, and God has gotten me here when my doctors basically told me nothing we could do for you, take care. And I was like, what do you mean take care? I mean, I went to Sloan Kettering, I went to all the best hospitals, and they said I have the small intestine cancer. It counts for like 1% of all cancers in the United States, and there's no cure, nobody knows anything about it. And one thing we can say is you're the least likely candidate. I never smoked, I never drank, always worked out. And I said, well, what about 9/11? And you think it's related? And they're like, nah, probably had nothing to do with it. And I just laughed, and I was like, there's got to be something you can do for me. And they're like, nah, you know, you look pretty good for somebody with stage 4 cancer, so whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. So I thank my parents for raising me as a fighter. And I walked out of the doctor's office and said, no, I guess I'm on my own, and let's continue to fight. And thanks to John and Glenn and Anne-Marie and everybody in the organization and people like John, we just got to keep up the fight, and we got to make sure we find a cure for people, you know, who are told by their doctors that there's nothing they can do for them. So, again, thank you so much. It's a great honor. I can't think of a better person to have this award sitting on my mantle. And thank you so much for what you've been through, and it means so much to me. Thank you. We're gonna wrestle. Thank you.
You know, Barry's words caught my attention when he said he was on his own. Barry, you're no longer on your own, Barry. You are our family. You got a family of ESU badasses over there, and they love you, man.
Being an operating engineer, I have licenses. I have hazmat. It's a heavy-duty license. We knew that we needed what we were breathing. We knew the toxicities, and there were over 1,000 in the air. But there were no masks, there were no respirators, there was nothing down there for us. We were breathing all the toxicities that were in the air and that were in our food while we were down there. It took almost 2 weeks. They started giving out particle masks. which if anybody would have a brain knows it's for particles and not for toxic fumes. They finally, I think it was a month or so into it, they started giving out respirators and with cartridges. But again, they were the wrong cartridges, and by that time, for the ones that were down there in the beginning, we took our legal hit. We took our death sentence. My name is John Devlin. I was born 2/17/61 in Forest Hills, Queens. And then right after that, my family moved out here to Long Island, where I've lived for the last almost 50 years out in Suffolk County. Excuse me. I'm an operating engineer, local 15 out of Manhattan, which is we run a heavy equipment machinery and basically the 5 boroughs of New York. I'm also an emergency responder from Ground Zero 9/11. I got down there the day after on 9/12. I couldn't get off the island, everything was locked up. But when I did get down there, my jaw dropped. The amount of destruction and the devastation that I witnessed. When we got done with Ground Zero, everyone got out of there. We all had asthma, bronchitis, we all had the breathing problems. The guys that were down there in the beginning, we all walked out of there with asthma and breathing problems. I was healthy as a dog, never sick in my life before this. It took 8 years for the cancer to show up on me. I have literally level 4 inoperable throat cancer, and on both lymph nodes. I've had 33 radiations, 8 chemos, 5 surgeries, lost the ability to eat, lost the ability to talk. It took me almost 8 months to get to where I am now to be able to talk with you. They want to put a feeding tube in me right now because of all the radiation that I took in my throat and the chemo. It burnt out my saliva glands. I don't have saliva glands. I don't have the little lip in your throat, the epiglottis. It's fried on me, so it stays open. So anytime I drink or try to eat to survive, it lands on my lungs. So I deal with aspiration pneumonia. So the cancer don't kill me, the pneumonia's gonna kill me. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to let everybody know that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of people just like me that went down there as a patriot to our country and not caring about our own health or our own goodwill, thinking that the government would take care of us. And people just like me sitting, look at all these pills I take now. My life is all about medicine. I go to the doctors 2 or 3 times a month. I see 4 different doctors a month now, where I never saw anyone. I never even had a physician before 9/11. Never. I was 270 pounds before I got sick. I'm down to 180 now. I actually gained 10 pounds in only a year and a half. That's how hard it is to eat and to keep weight on. Excuse me, I gotta take another hit. I just don't believe, and it's not just me, there's so many people out there that have gotten so sick that literally we're on medications just to function every day. There's a medicine to get up, there's a medicine to go to sleep. I never believed in PTSD. I finally went for a test only a while ago, and I found out I had a possible 84. I have 82. I never even believed I had it until I realized what it was. And now I see that I've had it for probably 10 years now. I've had PTSD, lung disease. I can't breathe. I'm on all these inhalers. I have sleep apnea. I don't sleep evidently. My heart stops at night. I just found that news out only a couple of weeks ago. I found that out. You know, I'm finding out how sick I am by actually going to the doctors. You know, I didn't even know I had cancer till I couldn't swallow. You know, how do you go from having nothing to get level 4 cancer, I don't know. But at least I'm a testament to my spirit and my religion. I never was in this for myself. I hope to God that it is. And I'm not selfish in this. I'm only 50 years old. There's not a chance in hell that I'm ever going to work again with as sick as I am. So the compensation is not just for me. The compensation is for my family. I brought this stuff back to my house. What about my kids? What about the other responders' kids? If I had all that toxicity on me and I wound up with cancer 8-10 years later, did I get my kids sick?
My name's Jeff Strohlein, 47 years old, retired from New York City Fire Department due to cancer, brain cancer, large mass brain lymphoma. Discovered this year on March 18th, I was diagnosed with brain cancer. I worked 18 years in the New York City Fire Department, 21 and a half years civil service, and basically was forced to retire from the job. We were supplied like little masks like I wear when I go into the doctor here. And then again, according to whoever said it, the air quality was fine down there. So why were they supplying masks to begin with? It's pretty disgraceful. But again, we weren't supplied the proper stuff. We were in over our heads. You don't leave a brother behind. So we were in there for the fire department, but there was a lot of other people lost. A lot of different toxins in the air between two planes, diesel fuel, computers, chairs, cabinets, all this different glass and building and human body parts, all disintegrating in air. But you're being told down there the air quality is fine. Just not the norm. It's not the normal situation. After I finished there, I went back to work and was out of the rotation like as B or whenever, the next group of A went in, however they did the shifts. And I was back in the live zone as far as the putting out fires and fighting fires and riding on the, the fire engine and the rigs. And it was only recently, this year, on March 17th, I had basically been having headaches for about 7 to 10 days. And my wife said, we're going to the doctor. I don't get sick a lot. I'm not a guy who has a problem, getting sick for the most part. And so basically my wife said, we're going to go to the doctor. This was on St. Patrick's Day of 2011 this year. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, we'll go check for an MRI. We went down the road for an MRI. My wife's parents were in town, so my wife, her parents, and the kids all went to the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I got a call a couple hours later from the doctor's office saying we want to take see you about that MRI, and that's not a normal situation for when you go for an MRI. So I called my wife, and she said I'm on my way home. We're going to North Shore tonight. So I lost my hair from the cancer in the last treatment, or most of it. Anyway, we went back to North Shore that night. My wife's a nurse, teacher, and professor, and she started making our phone calls to pull some strings. We squeezed in a room at North Shore. The next morning, on March 18th, at 8:30 in the morning, I had my head sliced open and was in for a brain biopsy. And I was basically drugged up, but they notified my wife that I had a large mass brain lymphoma and a brain cancer. And basically, it's not something they could scoop out, or it's something that had to be treated. So I basically stayed in North Shore for 4 or 5 days, and we told them we're going to do nothing more here. We're going into Sloan. And we went and saw a doctor from Sloan, Craig Nolan, and he basically, this is not normal. It's not a routine cancer. It's something you don't see, but it's something I see. And I'm very confident, and he basically said, you don't see it on the streets, but it's something that he treats here at Sloan. So then I came to Sloan probably like a week or so later, which kind of put a relief in me, saying they're not rushing to get me in, so hopefully, it's beatable. And matter of fact, Dr. Nolan said it's very curable and it's very beatable. So he said this is a 7-treatment program over 14 weeks of pretty much heavy chemo, of like 3 chemos going in me every other weekend. He said after the 5th week we'll do an MRI. If I don't see any cancer, we'll stop the treatments, and basically that's where you're at. So when I got to Sloan and did like the second day here, they get me in another room. I'm feeling pretty good because Dr. Nolan's pretty confident, so that makes you feel confident. They get you in a room and basically get me in talking about a bone marrow and basically bringing the reality of cancer back to a head and back to the top of the pile, where you kind of get scared again. You just want to cry. And you suck it up again and start the treatments, for cancer. And basically I got Rotoxin, some other drug, and methotrexate, which was the big chemo cancer killer for my brain cancer. Methotrexate, the doctor told me you can treat cancer, brain cancer, with many treatments of chemo, but they found over the year that methotrexate gets through the brain wall. So and a lot of the other cancer treatments, chemo treatments don't. So after the 5th treatment, and basically had a lot of side effects on these, including gout, where I could barely walk, stuff like that. I mean, gout was the main thing, where I could hardly walk at times, and they were trying to figure out and treat that. After the 5th treatment again, the doctor took an MRI, Dr. Nolan. He looked at it and came out and basically said, I had to look so many times and I barely saw any cancer. But we're going to do the 6 and 7 treatment. And I said, no problem, let's do the 6 and 7 treatment, let's just wipe down. After the 7th treatment, Dr. Nolan's staff came out, and I didn't hear from Dr. Nolan at that time. And they basically said, we looked at the MRI and we saw no cancer. So, that was huge and positive for me. The Zadroga bill, I think, is a no-brainer. This is 10 years later. My wife went to a meeting for the Zadroga bill a few weeks ago, and as of that time, there were 345 first responders who've died since 9/11. That's not coincidence. I mean, let's get real. Like these 345 people that responded there were going to die of cancer anyway. I mean, to say that there's no link, there's no common tie in cancer and all those toxins that were in the air is just a joke. I mean, it's a disgrace. How they keep avoiding time, they don't want to open this cancer bag of worms because it's a lot of money. I got a $220,000 bill. How many other bills are out there for other people trying to get by and live? And my time is, I told my wife from the get-go, who was more on the professional negative side, and I'm on the more, I'm going to beat it, realistic side of me, And that's, I said, I'm not ready to go yet. I'm not, I'm beating this cancer. I think it's not even a question. I think it's a disgrace that it's 10 years later, and it's not 10 years later from the Zadroga bill, but it's 10 years later after 9/11, you're fighting for stuff, and you got people telling you the air was fine to breathe, there was there's nothing linking cancer to anything down at 9/11. I mean, that's just, we fight, we talk about, there's fights about breathing in secondhand smoke. Just think of all the stuff you were breathing in down there. I mean, come on, let's get real.
In December of last year, when the Zadroga bill was passed, we knew cancer wasn't included, but we were under the assumption that cancer would be added. We are confident now with the scientific research and the mountain pressure that we're going to get cancer added. I vow and I promise to everybody who suffers from this horrible disease from their heroic actions that we will get cancer added. We are ready to fill the buses, and we're ready to go back to D.C. and let the Republicans, the Tea Party, and the Democrats know that we're not asking, we're demanding that cancer get added. We're going to ask for more money, and we're going to ask for more years on this bill to ensure the best of the best of what this country offered 10 years ago, these men and women, the men and women who risk their lives without prejudice, that we get cancer added to the bill.